this is Rob with Stretch Therapy Vancouver. Today I want to show you a liberating sequence for your hips, for your knees, for your ankles. This is the specific warm-up for our splits program in stretch therapy. I have clients that do come in, they're involved in martial arts or gymnastics, or they just want to improve their hip mobility. So this is a specific sequence for that program. Now, it's very important that you do these exercises in this order. And it starts off with our hip flexors. Then we're thinking about the knee, the relationship between the quads and the hamstrings. Then we're thinking about the hips, the relationship between the outside of the hips, the inside of the hips, primarily the glute medius, and then into our ankles and calves. Now, we want to improve mobility plus the elasticity of all of those joints. So we're going to do about 30 repetitions per side. If you think about a 2-second contraction, those 2-second contractions help with the elasticity of the joints. Now you might be thinking, I don't want to do the splits. I don't care about kicking high, but this also makes a good warm up for any weightlifting session. Maybe going for a run, going for a cycle, going for skiing. This is a great routine to help warm up and limber up and get you ready for all those activities. We do need a few things. We'll need a rolled up towel or a pillow. We'll need something soft to kneel on. Ideally, if you have some wedges to support your feet, great. If not, a piece of wood or even a yoga block will help as well. So it's very important we do it in this sequence. We're starting off with our hip flexors. So to set this up, I have a soft little block for myself to kneel on. This is the hip right in here. So think about elasticity right here in the front hip. This back foot, we're placing the bottom of the toes to the floor. We're going to go other foot forward. We're going to sink the hips forward down. We're pulling the hips forward and down into extension of the hips. Front knee over the heel, give or take. Now, we don't want to just push the hips up and down in this position because then nothing's happening here. It's not being stretched. We want to keep the hips forward. So to make sure we're not cheating and we're staying in the proper position, I'm placing this bolster just through the front of my leg. I'm using that as a guide. So if I know if I lose contact here, I'm cheating. So I want to think about just putting the bottom of the toes to the floor and just pushing the heel back. So I'm just pushing the heel back, pulsing, little 2-second contractions. Here, I've been a nice little stretch. Now, for those who've done my classes, we've done big stretches in this position for the rectus femoris, which is a quadricep muscle. It's the prime mover of the quadriceps. It does cross the hip and does act as a hip flexor. So I'm just pulsing, pushing the heel back. Just enjoying that position. I'm going to do about 30 repetitions. Now I've been talking, I kind of lost count on that. So let's just count down from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I can push myself back with my hands and my foot. I'm going to switch it up the other side. So I'm just going to spin over on the other side so you can still see me. One knee down to the block, bottom of the toes to the floor. It's very important that we get both the psoas and the rec fem. Other foot forward, front knee over the heel, give or take. Want to make sure I'm not cheating, so I'm just placing this bolster to my leg. And again, we're just going to pulse and push the heel back and then relax. Push the heel back and relax. And we're doing about 30 repetitions. Now, maybe you're new at this and those 30 repetitions is just too much. That's okay. Do what you can. Work your way up to 30 repetitions if you can. If you're already involved in mixed martial arts, gymnastics, this will be pretty easy. Pulsing and then sinking. Good. I'm going to push back from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. That's about 30 repetitions. Nice and loosen up. Okay. So now we're going to think about our knee, relationship between our quadriceps and our hamstring, and we get a bit of a soleus stretch as well. So we need the wall. We're still going to use this nice soft pad for our front foot. Sorry, the back knee. Our front foot's going to go to the wall. We're trying to get our heels close to the wall as we can, but it's going to really depend on your ankle mobility. That's what we're going to help improve upon as well, plus our hamstring. So Opposite hand to the floor. Same side arm, just gonna hold on to my front knee. And again, if you've done my classes on a regular basis, we've gone into a big stretch in this position for our hamstrings and the soleus. But now we're thinking about just limbering our knee and ankle. So I'm gonna engage my quads. I'm just gonna kind of push myself back and forward. Squeeze and then relax. And again, we do just about 30 repetitions just to help loosen up our hamstrings. Again, you can do this as a warm-up before you go for a run, help loosen up, especially if you've been sitting all day. Or maybe you're just sitting all day, you get home, it's gonna warm up. I'm just pulsing, breathing. Hold down to my front knee to help relax the low back as well. And right now I can actually feel it in the ankle. My calves have been really tight recently, so this is really good for me in the moment. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and all 1. Okay, that was about 30 repetitions. So let's try the other side. Other knee to the block, shoulder or the hip over the knee, other foot forward, front knee bent. Try to get our heels close to the wall as we can. Opposite hand to the floor. The same side arm, we're going to hold on to that front leg. Helps relax our low back. It feels more stable. Plus, we can kind of feel these tight muscles, hamstring muscles right here. And we're going to engage the quads to stretch the hamstrings. So I'm just extending the knee, relaxing. Again, if you're new to this, maybe just starting with like 10, switching up on the other side, and then work your way up. Just pulsing. Now on this side, I don't feel so much on the ankle. I feel it more on the hamstring, and that's okay. Maybe one side feels different than the other. That's okay. Your body's talking to you, telling you what needs your attention. If you're feeling any restriction in any of these areas, okay, now we know we need to stretch those areas. Of course, with the splits program, we'll be addressing those problematic areas. 2 more. 1 and a 2. Okay, good. Excellent. So now we're going to think about the outside of the hip, the glute medius. And to go into the splits, we need these muscles to lengthen and our hips square to the floor. Now we're going to need some pillows, rolled up yoga mat, something to help bypass our tight hip flexor. For those who've done my class, we know that we've done a bolster piriformis, a really big stretch to help improve upon that. If you've done the class, you find that it's really challenging. Again, this is a great exercise to help with that. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a seat on the pillow or the bolster, hip to one side, knee to the other side. We want 90 degrees or better at that front knee. From here, we're going to lean forward. We're going to slide the other leg back and out of the way. Now, we want to be able to pull the hips down. This muscle has to stretch to allow that to happen. If this front foot sneaks in, we can just hold that with the opposite hand. So I'm just pulling my hips down to the floor on the opposite side. So I'm stretching this muscle here on the right side. I'm just pulsing, pulling my hips down on the left side. Let's help open up the hips. Now, if you've struggled with the pigeon pose, I highly recommend using a bolster, elevating the front leg. Remember, we want to keep 90 degrees or better at that front knee. The issue is this back leg will get in the way, the hip flexor gets in the way. Those who've done my class, we always stretch the hip flexor before we go into this bolster piriformis stretch. I found using a prop to elevate that top leg makes it a far more effective and progressive stretch to the glute medius. 5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Okay, good. I can lean back to the knee. I can swing that back leg forward and slide that front leg down. Let's repeat the process on the other side. Again, having a seat on the bolster, other foot forward, front knee bent. Now, right now I don't have a mat, but I also recommend using a mat just to make it more comfortable on that front foot. Otherwise, the ankle to the hardwood might feel a little uncomfortable. We don't want that front heel to slide in, so you can always cup that. We'll drop our ribs to the knee. We'll slide the other leg back and out of the way. And we're going to pulse pull the hips. In this case, now my right hip's down since I'm stretching this left side. Pulsing, pulling. Little 2-second contractions help with the elasticity of these muscles, the glute medius and piriformis. And again, one side might be tighter than the other. That's okay. My right side is my tight side, a little bit. Tell it's tighter, but this side's okay. 3, 2, and a 1. Okay, you can slide back to the knee. I'll just slide that front leg down and swing that back leg forward to disengage. Now there's one more exercise in the sequence. It's for our calves. We want our feet supported, so it's not the foot that's bending. We want to think about the calf and the soleus stretching. So what we're going to do, if you have wedges, you can place those next to the wall. Otherwise, you can use a block to kind of support the foot. And what we do is we're going to place both our heels to the wedges of the block. We're going to hold onto the wall for balance. Then we're rocking towards the wall to increase the stretch to our calves and ankles. Let me set those up. Actually, it's back a little bit. Give me one little space. And I'm just going to keep my knees straight. Just rocking forward and back. Open that back even more. My feet are supported. So rocking forward. As I rock forward, these muscles are being stretched. I'm really pushing my heels down to increase the stretch to the calves. And it's very important when we do all of our calf stretches, our feet are supported. Now, I do have a video on different ways to stretch the calf, either using a wall or using a towel. So you're definitely welcome to check out that video as well. Rocking back and forth, pushing my heel to the floor as I lean forward. I'm also engaging my quads to keep the knees straight, so I'm not just bending my knees. Do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Excellent. That is the limbering sequence for the splits program, but you can use that to loosen up any of those joints, ankles, knees, hips, hip flexors. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope it helps.